Alright everyone, I don't ever think I've been ahead of the meta. I've been off meta, to the left or the right of the meta, and most usually just very far behind it. That's all changed with this build, as I think it's about to blow the whole entire game wide open. If you like quirky builds that pack a punch, you're in the right place. Subscribe to join the Build Masters Clubhouse with free entry and a Jaeger bomb, help us hit 55,000 likes today, and finally, let's get into it. Last season it was all about the Mantle of Battle Harmony, but we've thrown that out of the window and into the trash because now my whole entire life is all about the boots of the Assembler. These boots aren't made for walking, they're made for floating and are quintessentially peak Warlock. This build is not only going to change the game for you, but also every single one of your teammates too. Boots of the Assembler are the brand new Warlock exotic boots introduced this season. Blessing of Order is the exotic perk, whereby standing in an empowering rift or healing rift will create noble seekers which will track to your allies, buffing or healing them respectively. Each ally affected will delay and extend the duration of your rift too. It's a great exotic and with the right setup it can give you infinite rifts. It also pairs perfectly with the exotic hand cannon Lumina, as the noble seekers will grant you noble rounds which you can then use on your allies to both buff and heal them with the Blessing of the Sky perk. What it also pairs perfectly with is one of the most underrated Warlock subclasses in the entire game, the Stormcaller's Attunement of the Elements. Not only can you benefit from the insane rift recharge rate when nearby to allies thanks to the electrostatic surge perk, but your rifts will also summon Arc Souls. These little Arc Buddies are granted to literally any ally who passes through your rift, and they last for 15 seconds when you're not stood inside one. However, they do last for as long as you are stood inside of a rift, which with this setup can be pretty much infinite. So not only are you empowering and healing everyone with the Assembler and Lumina exotic combo, but now you're aiding them in combat even more so with a little Arc Buddy over their shoulder. 1 or 2 bursts from an Arc Buddy will drastically reduce your time to kill in the Crucible, and in PvE they will help just lay waste to waves of adds. Noble rounds will stack on your Lumina whilst you have it stored too, so you too can make the most out of the buffs provided whilst in your own rift, which allows you to then chuck on a whole bunch of other mods in there too. As for mods to use in this one, Dynamo will be great for boosting your super cooldown when casting your rift nearby to enemies, as well as Perpetuation to reduce your rift cooldown when using your rift. There's just tons of great stuff you can do with this in PvE, with any number of Warmind Cell mods working, especially if you use either the Kilos shotgun or sniper rifle. Even the new Elemental Well mods will work too, with an Arc Energy or heavy weapon paired with the Elemental Armaments and Font of Wisdom mods working wonders to build up that Storm Trance super. Remember, you've also got the Overload hand cannon mod from the seasonal artifact, and you can pair it with an unstoppable grenade launcher like Salvage's Salvo to have all of your bases covered in endgame content. As for power weapons, heavy hitting rocket or grenade launchers will benefit the most to be honest, with Code Dwello's lasting impression roll being a great choice. If you use it in PvE though, I'd highly recommend the Healing Rift to add to survivability, whereas the Empowering Rift is the way to go in PvP. Extra health won't really matter too much there, but what does matter is the constant crispy 2-taps or even the disgusting one-shot body shots from high impact sniper rifles like the Occluded Finality or Frozen Orbit. I took this setup into Trials this past weekend to get the new SMG, and I mean, I'm not that good at Trials of Osiris, but I was playing with better players way better than I will ever be, so I made it my job to be just buffing and healing them constantly. This made their gameplay even easier as they were constantly 2-tapping body shots for the most part, along with the burst fire from the Arc Soul. Aside from the occasional freeze from a cold snap or a super, the constant pressure of the increased damage and Arc Souls combined with the intermittent healing, it totally nullified any push from our opponents. Like I said, I don't ever think I've been in front of the meta, but from what I'm seeing with my eyes, this is it for the foreseeable future. Prepare to see a lot more of empowered Lumina Arc Souls this season, especially as Stasis gets further tweaks and nerfs. I hope you enjoyed this quick build guide for the new Warlock boots and a setup I think you'll be seeing more often. If you're new, please subscribe to become the 99th new subscriber today, and let's hit that goal of 55,000 likes. I'll leave some extended footage of this build in action to watch if you wish. That's it for this one though, so on that, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.